Alright guys, what is going on? We just finished watching the GFW Impact Gauntlet for the Gold. It was really the whole thing of the show. I mean, we'll get into it, but we started off the show with flashbacks from last week, and we get a tag team match between Ohio versus Everything and the Heat Seekers. Really a squash match. That's all it was. And OVE looked impressive again, but I just want to say this. I feel like if you're not impressed with OVE yet, just wait until they have like an actual really competitive match, and these guys will tear the house down. I know you've all seen the gif of Chris running up the fucking wall into a cutter. Everybody's seen that gif. I mean, everybody. Come on now. So, you know, that's obvious. Most people know who these guys are, so it's a matter of time before everybody really getting behind them. And then from there, we saw Eli Drake walk into Jim Cornette's office and really ask to get his number changed, because the number one thing was, he was just saying that he's number one. He just didn't want to start number one in the gauntlet. And Jim Cornette says, well, I can move some things around if you just leave me alone. He says, I got your number. It's 2. That's the same thing. Which, was kind of funny there. They had a lot of these tonight. They had one where Bobby Lashley, an American Top Team, comes in. They had him and Eddie Edwards sat down and talked it out. Honestly, I like this because I was watching some stuff from TNA, whatever you want to call it, back in the day, where Jim Cornette was there last week. When I remember that, he used to work there. He was a GM there before, and I went back and looked, and honestly, that's they did the same thing. Then they had a lot of stuff in his office, and that's what they're doing now. So I hope they continue that. I really do kind of like that. I just want one authority figure. We're not seeing Karen Jarrett anymore, which is great. Bruce Pritchard's gone, which is great, and now we're just getting that one guy in Jim Cornette, which honestly I'm down with that. He is so much better than Bruce Pritchard, so and way better than Karen Jarrett as an authority figure. So we'll see what goes on and what happens. I think in one of his podcasts last week, like right after it happened, he says he's officially not a part of the roster, but he's there when they need him or something like that. I have no idea. I hope they clarify that, or just if I got it wrong, let me know in the comments if you actually listen to the podcast. But after that, we had Taryn Terrell come back and explain why she did it. And pretty much she did what a lot of people were hoping to do. They were tired of seeing the Gale show. Last year, when she was dominating, everybody was saying, we're tired of seeing the Gale show, put some other knockouts over. And honestly, that's what she basically said. She was tired of seeing the Gale show. Where was she when she was going through tough times? Blah, blah, blah. She went to the Hall of Fame for Gail Kim. So, I can see this. Gail Kim comes out. JB separates them. And honestly, I can see Taryn Terrell retiring Gail Kim. They had one of the best last knockout standing matches in women's history. Like, they killed it. It was at Slammiversary. They had a great match, honestly. I would put that in my top 5 women's matches, that I've seen. I've seen a lot, so, that just can go there. We get back from that, and they're kind of teasing a surprise entrant into the Gauntlet for the Gold, and honestly, it was no surprise. They even showed Johnny Impact's little promo thing after last week's show, and they have had it on YouTube, they've had it on the Twitter. Why were they saying it was a surprise? Didn't really kind of enjoy that, because we all know, kind of just, I don't know, kind of dumbfounded with that one. But I guess they recorded this, and then I don't really know that whole thing. But we move on to Grado, which, if you've seen any of my reviews on my other channel, you know that I'm not a big fan of comedy in wrestling. Like, if it's promos and it's kind of funny, then that's fine. But honestly, I've seen the WCPW stuff where Grado's had matches there. I've seen some of the ICW things on YouTube, and this guy can wrestle. So, but he still does the comedy things. In GFW and in his time with TNA, he's never really had those matches. Like, he's been just straight comedy, and I've not been the biggest fan of it. So here to this time, he was saying goodbye to everybody because he was getting deported, and the fans were totally in on it. I know a lot of people like this dude, but not so much here from me. We see them, they're cheering the crap out of him until Laurel Vaness comes out, not in the crazy wedding dress anymore. I'm just sitting there like, what the hell? And she's asked Credo to marry her. They said yes. I'm just like, what the hell? I'm fine with it because I want to see Laurel Vaness not in the wedding stuff anymore. Even though it was funny while it lasted, she's a really good wrestler. Honestly, like, I don't know what's going to happen with this Grado and Laurel Vaness thing. Congo Kong does come out, and he walks his way down. And Shira, what the f was Shira doing out there? They kind of stand each other face to face, and Congo Kong backs up. Bitch, I would just that big, take out anybody, really. So, that was it. That was the whole first hour, basically. A lot of talking with one match. And then I was like, what is this? And then they say main event time, and it's 9 o'clock, 8:57, whatever. And then, boom, freaking literally an hour-long gauntlet, which was fine. It was the number one entrant in Eddie Edwards and Eli Drake to start the match off. They went the whole time. They went the full gauntlet. They outlasted the whole thing, so that was pretty interesting. But I'm going to kind of touch on some things that I noticed and I liked from this gauntlet, because there's a lot of things to talk about. Number 3, I believe, was Mario Boccara, and it was. And I got to say this right now. This dude could be a major player in a mid-card situation, like mid-card title situation. I can see him being in the main event, but this guy in the Grand Championship stuff could be just money. Like, his wrestling is phenomenal. Who knows what he can do on the mic, but like, just think about that. Get him a manager, and I feel, honestly, it's the same thing for Fall Ball, because they were attacked him. Like, both these guys could either be in the mid card or world title situation. I mean, honestly, these guys are great. I've said this before when they first came up and I was doing reviews on the channel. Like, they could really be something. Sadly, they both lost, which they both got eliminated. I kind of figured that, but we saw Eddie Kingston return. It was nice to see him back. We have not seen him in a couple of months. Where's Bram? We have Bram, Eddie Kingston, and James Storm in the... I don't even know anymore. I forgot what they were even called, because it just really was nothing. So, we then see... I mean, it was a lot of cool things. EC3 came in eventually. Okay, so here was one other interesting part. Congo Kong comes in. The next entrant was Mahabali Shira. So they kind of stare each other down, right? And Shira runs, to back off against throats. And while he's doing that, here comes Congo Kong full speed. And Shira pulls the ropes down, and he eliminated Congo Kong. I'm guessing they're going to have a match. I don't know. Who's really the biggest fan of Shira? Not the greatest wrestler, but I think they could maybe do something here. Or like he picks up Congo Kong and stuff. I mean, kind of get like an old school storyline basically with these two. And I think I could actually be down for something like that. But I don't know. Maybe, what do you guys think about that? So, Richard Justice. He comes in and he's trying to get people to team with him, and Eddie Kingston is like, "Go over there. What are you doing? Go!" And he goes over there, and no one will let him help him in the match, and so he just starts doing squats until the next guy comes out, and it was EC3, and EC3 is like, "Okay, we'll go take out these guys," and then he just turns him around, shot right in the groin, and eliminates him, which, honestly, that was pretty funny. That was a good one. I enjoyed that. I didn't think he would actually have a shot in this match. I mean, that was, I gotta give it to him. That was pretty good, honestly. So, Johnny Impact makes his debut, whatever you want to call him, Johnny Impact, John Morrison, Johnny Mundo, whatever. This was cool. He got a great reaction from the crowd, and he had a great match. I mean, he lasted till top 5. His stuff with Low-Ki, like, was cool. So he took Low-Ki down with a corkscrew and brought him down, whatever, and takes him to the corner. But when he comes off, freaking Low-Ki takes him down. Boom, double stomp. Like, that was pretty impressive. Then his face-to-face with EC3, and JB and Josh Matthews are right. That is a fantasy match. I would love to see those two go at it. I think it would be actually pretty entertaining. So, I think what was funny out of this, too, was EC3 looks at Johnny Impact and takes him down. That is a terrible name, and you hear them in the background. No, it's not. I don't know. I don't know why I thought that was so funny, but it was interesting. Whatever. We get Moose, Bobby Lashley. When Lashley come in, he just took out damn near everybody. He took out Fallah Bob pretty easily. He took out KM. He took out Mario Boccara. I mean, he just took out a lot of people. And then Garza Jr. stops him, rips the pants off, and throws him over too. But I gotta say, Garza Jr. could really become a big star, whether it's in the X Division, and he's got enough popularity in the Impact Zone to maybe do a world title situation or, thing. I honestly, I mean, this dude has had some great matches already with GFW, so I can see it happening. I mean, honestly. Maybe that's just a wild suggestion. Maybe it will never happen, but I don't know. I could honestly see it. I mean, he's honestly got a great future ahead of him, like literally. So we make it down to the final 5. When Low-Ki got eliminated, Low-Ki got eliminated early. Like, what the f was that? Then EC3 gets eliminated, and so it's basically down to Eddie Edwards, Eli Drake, Johnny Impact, Moose, and Lashley. And Lashley gets eliminated, Moose gets eliminated, and it's down to, this ending was great. It was Johnny Impact, Eli Drake, and Eddie Edwards. So Eddie Edwards gets thrown into the turnbuckles, and Johnny Impact was going to hit that insecurity. And when he did, he jumps up, and it looks like Eli Drake was just trying to knock him off, eliminate him. And he jumped. Eli Drake went through the middle rope, and the crowd's like, what the hell? No. They figured out he went to the middle rope. The crowd went nuts. He comes back in, and Impact's trying to do it again, and just fucking knocks him up. I mean, like, literally just kills him. But leading up to this, Impact hit him with Insecurity. Then hit him with a super kick, and he's, like, dangling off the ropes, holding on for dear life. He sits up, hits him with a knee. Johnny hits him, like, square with a knee to the temple, and the dude falls out, and I'm like, oh, it's over. And no, his 2 feet were like hanging on. That was pretty cool. He pulls himself back up, and then after that, it's basically down to the first number 1 and number 2 enter, Eddie Edwards and Eli Drake. A lot of pinfalls, which was expected, but finally Eddie Edwards goes to the top rope, and Eli Drake runs at it, like just jumps straight to the top rope, and tries to hit a superplex. Eli gets knocked down. Eddie comes off with a crossbody, and Eli Drake rolls through, catches him, hits him with a slam, and wins. It is your new world champion. That was great. I mean, like, what the hell? Great stuff there. So, while he's celebrating, which will kind of piss me off, they did the American Top Team thing where Colby Covington choked out, like, I think it was Brian Stifler. Why did they have to interfere at Eli Drake's big moment? Not a fan of that, but we'll see what happens with those two. My rating for the show is probably a B-. I mean, because it was 2 hours with, 2 matches. One really good match, one hour. I mean, solid hour-long match, and then a squash match. A lot of talking in the beginning, which a lot of it, I mean, like the Grado stuff, I didn't really care for. So, what would you guys grade the show? Down in the comment section below. And that's going to do it here for my review. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'm out. Thank you guys so much for watching.